I'll tell you all about it next week, right? So, we had to basically go grocery shopping yesterday, but we didn't need to do Thanksgiving stuff, which is good, okay? Now, we just so happened to be in a different neighborhood because we were doing all these appointments. So there happened to be a grocery store there. It's the same grocery store chain we go to every week, but it's a different one. It's not the one from our local neighborhood. It's the one that's further away in another place. We're like, what's the difference? We'll be out. We'll go to this grocery store. We'll do our grocery shopping as usual. We'll have our list with us and everything. And that way we'll do it together. It's nice on a day when we do it together rather than me just doing it by myself, because sometimes my wife has something to add or we see something alternative that we pick. It's nice to do it together. Quite frankly, I'd much rather do arbitrary things like grocery shopping and things with my wife than do them by myself. They're boring to do by myself. They're fun to do with my wife. You see? So, we walk into the grocery store. At first it seems fine. Everything's good. There's nothing wrong with this place. Looks pretty similar to the one we usually go to. So the first thing we do, we go over to a cooler, and this cooler usually has a bunch of meats and things from a company, and they usually, at the one we go to, they have these sausages that are chicken sausages. Now, as you guys know, I have a condition where I have an imbalance in the acid levels in my blood, okay? It's called gout. And because of that, I have to eat as little red meat as possible, all right? Maybe once or twice a week tops, okay? So I eat a lot of chicken. So we go look for chicken alternatives to everything. You know, every possible thing. We try to eat chicken, and sometimes turkey as well. So we eat chicken sausage a lot. And there's various different kinds of chicken sausages that they have at different stores. You can get like an Italian style. You can get like a Cajun style. You can get all kinds of sausages, okay? Just so happens that 2 meals that we plan to have this week are going to have 2 different kinds of chicken sausage in it. One's a more Italian style soup, and one is actually a gumbo where we have chicken andouille sausage in it. Okay? And absolutely incorrect, Jesse. Enjoy your ban. Shut the fuck up. I love it when people come in here and they like know it all. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So get out of here. Okay. So that being said, my friends, we go into the store. We look in the cooler. It's a mess. Okay? Half of the things that should be in this meat cooler are empty. Some of them have fallen over and are just like a big pile at the bottom of the cooler. And as we're looking at this cooler, there's no sausage at all. This is the same cooler that at the other grocery store is fully stocked, nicely kept, and has all the chicken sausages that we usually buy. And I'm like, what's going on? This is weird. It's the same store. This would be like, you know, going to BurgerKing and then going to a different BurgerKing and they don't have the Whopper. We just don't have it here. Why? You're supposed to have it, right? It doesn't make sense. Okay? So, anyway, they don't have it. And I'm like, well, that sucks. What are you going to do, I guess? We can't get it this week. We're going to have to maybe find alternatives. Or maybe it's in another part of the store, and this store, for some odd reason, doesn't keep it in this cooler. We don't know. It doesn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense, but it's weird. Okay? So, we then we walk further into the store, into the bake shop. Now, at our local grocery store, it's got one of the best bake shops we've ever seen. Fresh bagels every single week. Fresh baked breads. Now, we're talking like big, puffy, crusty white bread you can make sandwiches and stuff on. Ciabatta bread. I love ciabatta bread, and they usually have fresh ciabatta bread. All kinds, usually fully stocked. You can get whatever you want. And every week, we get baked goods from there. We buy a bunch of bagels. We keep some out. We freeze some. That's what we usually have for breakfast. You know, we'll get some sandwich bread, whatever it is. We walk into this bakery. Now, by the way, it's no exaggeration. It's like 2 p.m. 2 p.m. This is not, we walked in at like 8 p.m. and the store is empty. It's 2 p.m. We walk into the bake shop of this other grocery store. The entire fucking bake shop is empty. Every area where there's supposed to be fresh baked goods has nothing in it at all. We're talking no bagels, no rolls, nothing, empty. The only bake shop stuff that they had was the stuff that's not made in that bake shop that basically gets carted in every morning from other bakeries. You know, they're pre-packaged goods and shit like that. So they're all in there. And we're looking, we're like, what the fuck? Like, how could it be empty? I could see, okay, it's a bad day. Maybe someone called out. They have half capacity. They have a quarter capacity. They have nothing. All right? And it's not just us who are reacting like this. There's other people walking up. And there's a guy, he goes up, he goes, you have no bread? Like, what the hell? And there's one woman working the entire bake shop. And the look on her face is like a deer in headlights. Like, she has absolutely no clue what to tell anyone. She's just like godsmacked that she's working here and doesn't know how to bake. In the bake shop. Okay? So we're like, what is going on here? Right? So immediately I looked, and I basically turned my head and I looked at the rest of the store. And I start to just look at the meat section. And I can see that literally half the meat section also is empty. And I was like, you know what? I was like, honey, fuck this. What's going to happen is if we try to shop here, we're going to have to make so many concessions. We're going to have to make so many compromises. It looks like this store is poorly ran. They don't stock the stuff. They don't have people doing anything in the store. Like, what the hell is this? How is it that our local grocery store, same company, is run so differently than one that's like a half an hour away just because it's a franchise and someone else runs it? So how do you have one that's run like shit and one that's run really well? Don't you want them all to be run really well? You know what I mean? And I hate to say it, but this is a lot similarly to a comparison that I actually made earlier, the BurgerKing situation. We've had here in our area, okay? We have had places where we've gone and it's exceptionally good, and then we go to the same exact business, but it's a different franchise, and it's absolutely fucking terrible. All right? BurgerKing is the prime situation where we've been to one BurgerKing where you go there, you get the Whopper. Oh my God, it's so good. Everything's fresh, delicious, exactly how it's supposed to be. Then you go to the other one, the fucking burger's cold as ice. All your toppings, half of them are smashed on. They're not even on the bun like they're supposed to be. Big fucking mess. I'm not even going to go into the situation about the chicken sandwich debacle of last year. You guys already know about that infamous meme. But you know what I'm saying? Like, just because it's a different manager, the entire business can be run differently? No. The point is when you own a franchise, you're supposed to adhere standards to all of your franchisees, and you're supposed to hold them accountable if they don't live up to those standards. That's your brand that's out there. What we're finding here more in America is these franchise companies don't give a fuck. They just don't. Yeah, they have criteria, whatever, but who's being held responsible for these places being run like shit? How do you have a bake shop with no baked goods in it? None. Not, like I said, it wasn't like they were understocked. There was nothing in this bake shop. Zero. What the fuck? It blows my mind, okay? So all that being said, we were shocked. We rescheduled our entire day because of it. We walked right out. And we're not wasting our time here. We walked out, and we ended up doing our other things. We went to, our other appointment that we had. We ended up going to a different pet store because there was a nice local pet store out there. It's nice, but it's one of those pet stores that's like, oh, everything fresh. Eat the raw meats for your cat and give your cat these weird oddball litter that they're never going to use. So we ended up driving to like our local area where we usually shop on our days off. And we went to the usual pet store and all of that. And then we ended up going to our usual grocery store. What a shock. We went to our usual grocery store of the same exact company. They had the sausages. The bake shop was fully stocked. Everything we wanted was there. And there was actually, of all things, there was one thing they were out of stock. And then we ended up easily finding a substitution that we're actually excited to try this week. It's a little different, but looks like it'll still be pretty delicious. So there you go. You know, basically, once you find something that you like, you basically can't really veer from it at this point. Especially in America. It just seems like there's no consistency anywhere. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm just being honest. Like, that's very disappointing. These franchises are not holding anyone accountable. Again, case in point, that BurgerKing. A little over a year ago, it was September 2021. I go to that BurgerKing on my wife's birthday, which of course we weren't planning on. It was like a last-minute chain. I order a chicken sandwich. It's the most disgusting chicken sandwich I've ever seen. It's completely inedible. There's sauce everywhere. It's just completely unappetizing. I didn't eat it. So I take a picture. I complain to both the BurgerKing Twitter account and I email them on their support account and their corporate website. All right? Their Twitter account basically directs me to a customer support thing. All right? So does their corporate. And basically they give me the same exact answer. Just go to this thing. Okay, I'll do it. So I start emailing them, And it's obvious this customer support is not in the United States, it's international, because they respond to me at like 4 a.m. every day. And I hate to say it, in like half English. Like they're barely being able to type out in English. So I'm hoping they're understanding what I'm trying to tell them. You know, but this is their customer support. And then after basically going back and forth with them for 2 days, supplying pictures and everything of how bad of an experience I had, and basically telling them, listen, all I'm looking for is a refund for the sandwich. I don't even care about anything else. It's just you ripped me off. It was a very expensive sandwich. Oh, we'll reach out to the franchisee. A week and a half, 2 weeks passed, the franchisee never answers me. So I contact them again. Okay, no, listen, we're going to still reach out to the franchisee. To which I responded and said, I don't want to hear from the franchisee. I just want you to do something to give me restitution for the fact that you basically ripped me off. And they ghosted me. They decided to stop responding entirely. Well, that's a great company, isn't it? Right? That's really a company you want to really give money to. A company that when you have concrete evidence that something they gave you was disgusting and inedible and it was expensive, they basically have a franchisee that blows you off and then they don't fucking bother helping you. They just don't care anymore. So, fuck them. Right? Why are you going to support a company like that? And we haven't. I think in the last year and a half, I think once we ate at Burger King, and it was because, again, we were in a big hurry, and we didn't have a chance to do anything else, and we ended up going to the good Burger King in our area, and everything was delicious. So there you go. So I don't know. That's just my franchise story. It's very disappointing that these companies are supposed to be living up to a standard, and they don't. They just don't. They just do whatever they want, and good luck getting anything out of a complaint. They don't seem to care either, which is very stupid and disappointing as well. So, anyway, after our day out,